Alright. Hey everyone, this is Will from the Productions², and we are back to do some KSP. So I've watched a couple videos, a video and a half from Orbiter, Orb 8, the number 8 Tur, about pinpoint landing on the moon, and as well as started watching his the second part of his base tutorial, which was about mining orbit. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be picking a point on the moon to set up the base, and then we're going to land there, set up a flag for a target, and then try and land a another vessel near that point to start our base off at that place, and then we'll build a satellite rocket, and we'll put a satellite in orbit around Kerbal, and then one around the moon to do the scanning with ScanSat. So let's go ahead and get KSP started. Then I'll watch some more of his tutorial, and then the next time I do streaming for KSP, we'll do the next steps, which will be to send up a mining system rover, and then also building out the actual base. So what I'm hoping we can do with all this stuff is actually set up the moon as like a transfer point, so we can send a ship there, land it, refuel it, and use it as a point to go to somewhere else. Maybe, I don't know. It's still good. It's good practice for landing things and also just doing different things. Figuring out how stuff works, and getting used to landing more accurately than I'm used to doing. Alright, headphone users were saved on that one. I believe I have all the parts that he had for his rocket to use. What was interesting with him is that he actually had just one, I don't know if he's using a mainsail or not, but he just had one Rockomax tank, and for the first stage to get up in orbit, and then I think it was a 2-tank. So I think it was all actually Rockomax sized tanks, which is interesting. Obviously I'm going to be, I think maybe the habitation or the command module he used might be a Rockomax sized command module, which I do have unlocked, so we'll see what happens here. Kesslerizing Kerbal. Barrel rolls. Say reference to Star Fox 64 doing barrel rolls. I wonder if Rare is still around or not, or if Microsoft's totally just gutted it and it's not even Rare anymore. It's some nondescript nondescript classic game developer that's now filled with a bunch of noobs or something. Well, maybe not noobs, but not the original team. It'd be nice if Microsoft would cut them loose and let them actually, go back to Nintendo or something. I read exactly why they went to Microsoft for. It was the biggest mistake they ever made, though. So they haven't done any, there should There should have been a new Star Fox game by now. There should have been a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day. I think Microsoft has kind of stifled that kind of some of that stuff. I think mainly because I don't think they transferred the IP over with them. I think they left it with Nintendo. Nintendo hasn't done anything with it. I believe. I'll have to look that up and see what's up with that, if that is or not. I think that's what happened though. It sounds like what might have happened. Okay, so all we need to do is we just need. Well, actually, we do have a flag up there. That's right. We already have a flag on the moon. The question is it where we want it to have it for? Is it a good place for the base? So what we'll do is we'll actually let's go up and I think it's Moonlander 2 or Moonshot 2. Or no, Moonlander 2, that's what it is. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and load that up. Or wait, was it Untitled Spacecraft? Let me load this one first. Okay, it might be this. It might be this one, but we don't need to have that craziness anymore. Let me check the Lunar Lander 2. I think that's the one we want. Yeah, that's the one we want. Okay. So what we're just gonna do is we're gonna take this up. We're gonna see where that flag is at. Unless I can actually, maybe we can actually go to the flag, or somehow see where it's at. It's the tracking station. Would be nice. If we could. So toggle sites, flags. Right, it's inside that crater. To be honest, I mean, it's a pretty big crater. There's a lot of room there, so I think that'll work. But then again, there's all these smaller craters. I think if we can get in here, that would be really nice, because this is a nice wide open space here. So, we'll kind of use the pinpoint method I have now consumed from Orbiter. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and build another rocket then, since that's that. So this is going to be our first, or kind of the core of the base, basically. The base core. There's not going to be any return stage, so we don't have to worry about that. This is going to stay up there on the moon. So we're going to say base core. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a salamander on. Or use the salamander, I guess. I'm pretty sure this is what he was using on his. I'm not sure if it's Rockomax size or not. It might be in between. Let me see. I'm gonna grab a Rockomax tank and just kind of compare it. Oh no, yeah, it's definitely okay. It is definitely Rockomax size. Okay, so we'll just build it straight with that then, and we'll see about how we're going to handle bringing this thing down. Alright, so first things first, we need to add a traveler can. I think it's underneath utility. Or not. Maybe. Oh yeah, there it is. The crew cat. Well, that's not that one. That's not the one. That's the smaller version of it. We want the one we want's a much larger. Maybe I don't have it unlocked yet. I may not have it unlocked yet. Because I am not seeing it. I could just be missing it though, but I'm pretty sure I don't see it. Let me just save this real quick. Let's go check the research. It may be on the next stage. It might be here. Yeah, it's here. The hitchhiker is here. So we don't have it yet. We need 90 or 160? 90. Okay, so we would need to land on the moon in a different spot. That's fine. That'd be easy to do, actually. And then maybe we can actually pick a better spot. I don't really want to be in that crater. And there's a good deal of space right there, but depending on how big we want to make the base, we're going to end up having an issue. So I'd rather choose a different spot that's not in a crater. Maybe in the lowlands somewhere. Alright, Moon Lander 2, because that's the one we used to land on the moon. Alright. So let's go ahead and launch it. And we could do the Minimus Lander if we wanted to, too. Either one of them will have enough fuel. I'd rather use this though, it's less overkill than the Minimus Lander is going to be super overkill for this. Alright, so it's just about landing, then coming back for the research, and putting a flag where we're gonna use that flag as the target point for. We want to be aiming, I think, this way. Yeah. Figure out which way I want to aim here. We do have twin bores. Everything goes at once though, so we'll go half throttle. Never mind, we'll go full throttle. The other thing about this is that we don't have that awesome reaction wheel. So it's going to be a little bit jiggly. We should still be able to do the full-on thing like I'm doing here. Well, it's going to be interesting because we will need to drop. I'll have to rotate a bit so we can drop off the twin bores cleanly. At least I hope cleanly. Jebediah is in the seat. Crap. That's what I was afraid of, yeah. Okay, let's go back to the vehicle assembly. We're gonna do the Minimus Lander. It's overkill, but the staging is a lot better in terms of dealing with that crap. I'd have to go straight up on that one so we don't have that happening. The Minimus Lander's set up so that we don't have to do that. And it's not really that much more expensive than this. If it doesn't even matter how expensive it is, but if it did matter, it's only a little bit more expensive. It's a much more efficient design. And in fact, what we could do is, if we absolutely had to, we could drop off some of the sections, some of the fuel tanks off of here. But I'm not going to do that. I don't really care so much about that. Oh yes, the fairing. We need to figure out where we want to put that. It definitely should happen before these, I think. So I'm going to stick it down there. It may even be before these ones. We'll put it there for now then, and we'll see what happens with it. I think it's also really dependent on the particular flight. Okay. SAS going. I'll go full throttle. We're kind of going slow to do this turn this early, but we should have enough thrust, and the reaction wheel should be enough that it won't go flipping around. I won't go deep just yet. I'll just kind of start turning a little bit. I'll wait till we get to the mid-atmosphere to actually go down to the full 45-degree angle there. Oh, all right. Flip around for those engines when they're done. Okay, we'll go down a little bit further. Oh, those hit the ground down there, that's what that was. It's like, what's exploding? Nothing exploded last time, why is something exploding? Alright. Those hit each other. Interesting. So what's next? The next two are the ones that are already... Okay, that's fine. That's where they need to be. I kind of correct our trajectory a little bit there. Alright, we got Jebediah and Bill on this one. Since it's a two-person command pod. I just dropped the thrust down a little bit so that we can not have any friction going on. Okay, good. I was going a little bit slow, but didn't really do anything. Well, we lost one. We lost one fin on that side, one wing. That's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and rotate back around so we can drop these guys off. Now we're back where we need to be. I'm just going to burn a little bit above this so we can try and pull the prograde back onto the line. Or it should be. So we're basically changing our orbit right now to be a little bit more precise. Okay, that should be fine. That's right on the line. I'm going to go ahead and turn down a little bit more. So once this gets to about 80,000, we're going to cut the engines. Conserving fuel this time instead of burning it all. Only use what we need. Alright, now we're going to wait. And actually we could probably get rid of the fairing at this point. Since we are now in space. Where's the space core when you need it? Even this larger reaction wheel has a problem rotating this much weight. That's why we need RCS thrusters. We'll have to put those on the satellite and base rockets. So we get more maneuverability without having to burn the engines. It'll still affect our trajectories and stuff like that, just not quite as much. Actually, it's pretty close actually. I'm going to be right near that 90-degree angle line there. Alright, so we're coming up on 80. Let's go ahead and burn. All about bringing the periapsis out. Once we get the PE node out, we'll be able to get a stable orbit and an efficient stable orbit at that, and then we'll set up our transfer trajectory to the moon. Okay, so periapsis is coming out. Alright, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70. We're a little bit far from the apoapsis node now. I mean, this is technically, well, not quite. We have to be over 69. We have to be at least 80, I think. Really. I don't really care where the AP node ends up at, I suppose. As long as we get the periapsis up high enough. Well, I guess I do care, because if we go, the apoapsis gets way high like it is, it can be kind of annoying. What the hell? That was kind of weird. It was showing a, I think it was showing the sun, the orbit around the sun that Kerbal was on. Well, the moon's over here this time. So what will have to happen now is we have to account for the fact we have to go around orbit around Kerbal once to get back to this point. By the time that happens, the moon's probably going to be over here. And there it is. That's kind of a funky orbit. It's like a V shape. It's not a good one. Let's try and see if we can't straighten that out a bit. When you get like these curly ones, those are really nasty to try and we'll see what happens. That one should be fine maybe. But they can be really nasty to try and get brought in without really screwing things up. So let's, I'm just gonna burn beyond the maneuver node. Not burn it, not burn, but so it's not gonna let me warp. I guess we'll have to do a manual time warp. Alright, there we go. So I wanna warp over to there. It's not gonna let me just say warp here. Weird. Of course, there's a little bit of thrust there. Oh, we're almost done with the burn there. or with the stage. So we're going to have to start this one off from actually in this view. Okay. You know, let's go ahead and get rid of this. That's a much better trajectory. Let's use that one. It's basically right on the same point. I wasn't feeling too good about that one. Okay. All right. That is a much better one. Look at this freaking huge transfer window there. Nice. So we can just take our time to do whatever. Alright. I'm probably definitely going to want to do a burn along normal or anti-normal so we can change the angle of our orbit and get to a different spot. I definitely don't want to land in the Midlands again because we were already there once. We need to get to the lowlands or maybe even another crater too. Well, no, we don't want to do a crater, right? So we're not only going for the science, we're going to set the flag for where the base is going to be at, or the general area we're going to have the base at. Alright, so we're getting close here. Not quite what it showed, but still we got a orbit. We got an encounter there, so shall take it. Let's go ahead and warp to there. There comes the moon. That's gonna be an interesting encounter. So we're pretty far out here, actually. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's our flag. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to retro. We're going to have a pretty large periapsis on this orbit when we get to it. Get it going. Actually, maybe we want to burn prograde. Okay, yeah, we're going backwards. That's right. We want to burn prograde. We want to do retrograde. So since we're going backwards around it, okay, let's stop this for a second. I need to figure this out. Now it's coming back down the other way. So if we go retro, okay, if we burn retro long enough, it'll swing it back around. That's all I wanted to know. It'd probably do the same with prograde, too. we're definitely gonna have to burn quite a bit for this one. That was interesting. We ended up going to another moon encounter there. Alright, here we go. We're bringing it around. Normally you wouldn't do it this way. You would go back to the periapsis, but since we were so far out, we're going to be able to just connect it like this. Oh, almost, actually, not quite. So we definitely want to reorient the periapsis node so we're on the light side of the moon. It's not fun landing on the dark side. Where the hell's the retrograde at? Oh, there it is. So actually, if we land in that crater, well, that's it. We don't want to do a crater. I think this might be the Midlands here, though. All right, let's go ahead and stop. I'm gonna tilt us down so that we land somewhere more in this area. Still pretty pockmarked, though. I want to make sure we're not in the Midlands. Let's go ahead and burn anti-normal. I think that's where we want to go. Yeah. Somewhere right around in here would be fine, I think. Now we need to swing back to retro. Alright, so that should give us enough lead time to figure out where we want to go here. Need to figure out a space that's kind of like maybe right in here somewhere, potentially, or here, maybe. Or here. Anywhere we got a large kind of flat area we can work with. That's not in a bloody crater. You know, I just realized we're going around the wrong side of the moon. We're going backwards, right? So we're going this way. So, we're actually going to the dark side. I think. Anyway. Yeah, we are. Crap. Alright. We need to push this out. This is the one we want to use to land on, or we want to get it at least somewhere where it's not going to be on the dark side here. We'll probably need to do a radial burn. I want to get at least 35 so we're not hitting anything. Now let's so if I do a radial in, so I want to do out for sure. Well, yes and no. That kind of just pushes it down in further. So if we do a radial out, we can bring it down. Oh, not only that, we need to do a retro burn so we could pull the periapsis node around. Even more? Jeez. That should kind of actually bring us right above this area here that I was looking at. Also add a little bit of a normal burn there. I'll bring it a little bit more so we get a little more time to work on stuff. Alright. We're gonna have a very interesting burn here. Oh, I need to burn for 24 seconds, so I'm gonna burn at T-minus 10. Okay, more than that, I guess. Okay. We really don't want to overshoot this. We want to get about where it's at. About where we have this maneuver line is. And get it pretty close to exact. That's pretty good. Alright. Actually, wait, let's do stability. We go to this view, and we're going to go ahead and jettison off this tank. Alright, swing retro. And we got quite a bit of time to wait still, so I'm just going to warp over to there. Let's go ahead and warp to about right here. Well, first, actually, let me go ahead and let's do a save. in case we screw it up. They're pretty high up still, 32. So we got a lot of birding to do. I might have started a bit too late. Or really late. Even if we can kind of get in here somewhere, that'd be good too. We'll see what happens with this. Right now what's happening, it's we're pulling off the AP node more instead of the periapsis, so this isn't moving so much. We're slowing down enough though that I think we should be able to pull it off. So this is about where we want to be at. If we keep burning full blast, we should pull it in far enough. No, we're over the Midlands still. Damn. I was hoping this wasn't the Midlands, but it is. Like, if we can get like right in here somewhere, anywhere in there really, even in here, would be nice. I really think that, well, let's go and stop. Let's aim for here, because we're not gonna get here. We didn't start early enough. Or better yet, let's just go to the, let's load the save, and we'll try that again. So I really want to land right in that spot. It's a pretty nice wide open area. The kind of what you don't normally get. So we're going to actually start burning from right here. We're still pretty far up. That's the point. We'll have a larger impact on the periapsis node that way. So once we start getting to right about in here, we're going to stop burning and let ourselves come down a bit more, and then start burning again about right here. Okay, stop. So we'll warp to about right here. Because now the lower we get, the less we're going to impact it, which is what we want. It's gonna pull it in too much, isn't it, though? It is. Yeah, we're already by that section, and I can't stop burning, so if I do, we're gonna come in way too fast. Okay, let's try this again. Trying to land on a specific spot's not so easy. So the first time we went too late, this time we went too early. So where the hell's the Goldilocks zone? So we're at about 60 this time, before it was about 30, so let's split the difference and go like 50 or 45. So we'd probably be around there, about right here. So we're pulling this in. It's not going quite as fast as before, which is good. But it's also faster than before, the first time. Alright, I think we've managed to find the spot we needed, I think. I still have a lot of speed to burn off, though. That's a lot of speed. But should be doable. Once we get in here, it should be a little bit easier next time because we'll be able to use this as a target and be able to use it on the nav ball to adjust what we have on the... It might be... No, this might be pulled in too much still. Let's just see what happens. Let me go ahead and warp to there. Go ahead and flip around to this view. I think we're coming in too fast. But we'll see. We don't have a lot of altitude left. We're coming down at about the right spot, though. Well, this says we haven't been here before. That's kind of weird. Maybe if you're far enough away from where you took the first sample, even if you're at basically the same place, it'll still work. Wow, we're still coming down way too fast. And these are all 100, they're not 75, right? Yeah, we didn't limit that. This is going to be one of those nail biters, so I'm not sure if we can slow down fast enough. Definitely not. So... yeah, for sure not. That was going to end badly. So... the first time was too late. And we're going to end up not where we wanted. The second time was too early. We're going to pull in too far. This one was about right, but we're coming in too fast. Maybe we need to pick a different site than that. That might be too hard to get to at this angle. So, what was it? I said 50? Let's try 55 this time. Give us an extra 5,000 feet, or 5,000 meters to mess around with. It should roughly put us in about the same place, but we should have a little bit more time to slow down. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Alright. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna go right into that crater. If we keep going this way. So I'm wondering what happens if we do this. Swing out prograde a little bit to adjust. I know we're kind of spending fuel to do things, counter intuitive things, but what I'm hoping is that when we do this, we push this out and not pull it in as much because we're closer. And we try and keep our speed in a manageable place so we can slow down fast enough. There's no pause. So just kind of have to keep screwing around with it until we get something that we can use. Let's try a radial outburn and see what that does. Oh, that's pushing it the way we want it to go. And we're not speeding up so much either. We still want to go, like, maybe push it to over here because we're going to be pulling it back a bit when we swing back to prograde. Alright. Let's switch back to this view. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. Oh hell, is radio out? Alright, at this point I think it should be kind of over where we want it to be. Right in this area here. Nice flat open space. I want to be very precise with this because I want to get it as close in the middle of that section as possible. We got plenty of height now, so I managed to jigger that around that we could to make this work. I have no clue how I made it work, but it did. So I want to go down a little bit more because once we start kicking this on, we're going to go pretty much straight down at that point. Alright, let's go ahead and kick it onto full gear. We're gonna end up right in here somewhere. We should be able to slow down quite easily. Let's slow down to about 80. So I still want to get a little more distance. If we look at this, that's actually pretty close to where. Actually, that's almost perfect, to be honest. That's like right in the middle of that section. And it's very flat terrain, which would be perfect for moon base. There's a good deal of it around here. This is a really nice spot for a base. The only problem is getting the frick over here. It's not easy. Now we're starting to speed up a bit again. Let's go ahead and kill off that momentum. I'm going to try and take us down to about... Yeah, let's just go full burn. We're right where we want to be. So let's try and get this, let's try and get going vertical here. Alright, we'll try and keep it around 30 for a little bit. While we verticalize our trajectory here. Yeah, we can get all this stuff. That's interesting. So I guess if you are far enough away from the first, from a space where you took the science before, you can retake it, even if you're in the same biome. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if it wasn't actually in the Midlands before. Alright, we need to start burning, so we need to get down lower. Only got 800 meters left to go. Again, you want to come down no faster than 7. Actually, I would say no faster than 6, to be honest. What's the rating on these legs? I can't tell. It's definitely not 17, that's for damn sure. It's definitely more than that. You can also time scale here if you need to. I tend not to use it when landing on the moon because it's a little more difficult because you actually have to do stuff. It's not like, you know, re-entering where it's just pretty much you let it go once you get the proper periapsis altitude set. It's not quite as flat as I thought, but it's flat enough. Oh, crap. A little too much there. Alright, Jeb, stop rocking the boat. I know you want to party, but you gotta land this thing first. It's a constant fight between too fast and too slow. We are just friggin' rocking around all over the place. I probably want to try and land. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Stop bouncing around, damn it. We went a little bit too much and ended up losing the retrograde marker, but we landed. Nice, okay. And actually, no, yeah. See, all the science stuff is gone now, so it must have been because we were over the Midlands. Still, we can still retake everything. I'm not sure how much we'll get for it, though. Oh, yeah, see, it's barely anything. It's not worth taking the science from here. Don't want to do that. So what I'll do is when we're lifting off, I'll take the science experiments then, and we'll get enough to unlock that part, I think. First things first. Bill, you shall do the honors. Yeah, it's absolutely worthless. Alright. Bill is shattered a hip. No. Alright, so where do we want to put this flag at? So I can actually go wherever I want to in this whole area. Let's turn on his RCS here. So where's the flattest area here? You do have a limited amount of RCS, so you need to be aware of that. If you run out, there's no way you're going to get back up on top of the... back up on board. I think this is pretty flat here. I think this would do nicely. So I'll go ahead and plant the flag here. Alright, so our coming here sign. Now I just gotta go the 1,000 meters back over to the ship. Alright, where's the hatch at? Gotta figure that out first. I think it's back on this side. So we're going to have to do a couple tests to you know, just kind of get used to the idea of how we're going to need to do this. Alright, let's go ahead and get back up here. Alright, Bill's back on board. Let's go ahead and slowly lift off here. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and do our science experiments. Sorry, we have the crew report. Alright, Jeb, get up there and do your EVA report. Alright, we got all of our science. So we got plenty of fuel. Gotta get back to Kerbal. Okay, so let's switch back to stabilize. I think we want to go this way. Another interesting thing I learned about the gimbal, the side that's this color, that represents the ground, and this side represents the sky, and this, I guess, would be the horizon. So that's going to be important for when we come back up here to try to do a precision landing and land next to this with our with our base core. It kind of makes sense though. If you're burning on the horizon, you're pushing out your orbit more horizontally, which is what's happening here. God, I got so much fuel still. There's a whole nother stage after this one. So overkill. So we're going to have to do some testing and whatnot to see what we need in terms of engine power too. Because we're gonna what we're gonna have is basically Rockomax size stuff all the way through. So it's probably gonna take a little bit. Well, depending on what we have, if we have like a mainsail on it, I don't think we'll need that. We'll probably have a skipper on this stage. To be honest, if we just burn right here, we'll probably eventually end up on a Kerbal orbit. It's very hard not to get dumped out onto a Kerbal orbit from the moon. Eventually. But this might be one of those times. Oh no, there we go. We just had to burn some more. When in doubt, burn more. There we go. Oh, I actually got another. If we go all the way around, we're gonna have another moon encounter. Let's go ahead and fix that. We got plenty of time to do so. Okay, there we go. So it's gonna dump us out over to here. So I'm just gonna warp to there so we get past that part. And again, we want to make sure we get a stable 120k orbit around Kerbal before we try re-entering, so we're not coming in so steep. Alright, so retrograde. Let's go ahead and pull in the periapsis. Oh wow, that's kind of really... What That is the longest frickin' lunar thing ever. That is weird orbit. I hope we can get around that, you know, crashing into the moon. Jeez, look at this friggin' escape. That's a Kerbal escape. That's not good. Okay, there we go. Holy hell. This is a hell of an orbit that we're having to fix up here. How the hell did we get into how the hell did we get into this mess? Okay, here we are. So which way are we going? Are we going down or up? This Kerbal orbit. Oh hell, we're going down towards Periapsis. Again, we're going backwards somehow. Probably because we're going backwards from the moon. That's why all that crap happened just now. We're still pretty far up. Let me go ahead and just warp over to here. And we'll try and fix this up. This is kind of an interesting orbit we ended up in. If we had a scan sat, this would be the perfect orbit, but we don't. We have to do. I'm going to leave a little extra. We'll go 200k because we might have to do some normal burning to fix this in case we can't get over the ocean. Well, that's kind of over. Well, it doesn't really matter because even with even over land, these parachutes are good. Still, we'll leave a little extra. Alright, AP node. Come on in. Alright, so first thing we gotta do is we gotta build a rocket using the Rockomax stuff that can get into orbit and to the moon. Seriously? We actually used up all the fuel in that stage. Interesting. I didn't think we would. That's kind of bad though, because then we have less thrust, so we're gonna take longer to pull this in. But, c'est la vie. Such is Kerbal life. Alright, down to 950k. And dropping. It's a good thing we got tons of fuel and this engine doesn't use much at full power. Well, then again, if it uses more, this would be faster, I suppose. Oh well, we're almost there, so just a matter of letting it burn down somewhere. And once we get the AP node down to 200K, we'll go ahead and bring the periapsis node down to the butter zone of about 35K, and then we'll start re-entering. Pretty good orbit there, pretty circular. Could be a little bit more circular, but it's about as close as you're going to get, really. And now not so much. Alright, 100K. 90. 80. 70. 60. 4, 60, 55, 45, 35. Little under, but that should be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and drop off that stage. And prepare to deorbit. Hey, we're over the northern ice shelf. Another biome that we could do stuff over. All right, gonna start entering the atmosphere here pretty soon. Let me get a little more. I'm not really sure what's... I guess that's kind of close. And it says that... Oh, this should be like almost perfect, but... doesn't look like it. Anyway, whatever. Gonna start hitting the atmosphere here pretty quick. About another... Okay, there we go. About another letter in another syllable in another word. So again, pretty shallow re-entry. So shouldn't be too much heat build up. We're gonna come up. Might be over ocean. Nice. That'd be very nice. Coming in over land is kind of freaky sometimes. Especially if you're over 1,000, if it's like 600 and above sea level, because then stopping and slowing down enough to get one of the parachutes out becomes a problem. For over ocean, though, it's pretty routine. Okay, not so routine. We had a little bit of a buildup of heat there on something. I'll keep jiggling around here to keep that from building up too much. It's a little bit of a hack. A bug, whatever they call it. An undocumented feature that you can use to keep the heat from building up. I'm gonna switch over to map view a quickly. Yeah, we're going to be in the ocean. The longer you stay out there, the more likely you're going to blow something up, though. Once we get close to the middle of the atmosphere, mid-atmosphere, it should be safe to stop moving around. Or even right now. Looks like we're good for the moment. Yeah, we're definitely coming down in the water. For sure. But are we actually near the Space Center? No, that's over here. It's the Boomerang site. So we got plenty of distance to fall. 24K. Plenty of time to slow down. We're not even through the upper atmosphere yet. These really shallow descents are pretty good. Probably could have angled it a little bit better so that stuff wasn't almost exploding, but just a little jiggling to deal with that. Yeah, we're still 15K up and we're already down to 700 meters a second. We're going to be slowing down pretty good here. Gonna need to be at least, I think 250 is the max that you can be before you take the chutes out. We'll slow down a little bit on our speed drop. So we can let out some of the chutes to handle that. And they should deploy here pretty soon. Turn the SAS off. That's right, they won't deploy till 1,000 meters. Alright, let's go ahead and speed up time to get down there. Get our science, get our research used on that one thing. We'll probably we might have enough to actually get 2 of them. I'm not sure how much we'll get from this. I don't think it'll be as much. It won't be like the 200 or whatever we got last time, but it could be as much as maybe 130. We'll have to see. I think 130 would be on the higher, even max side of it, though. Definitely got over 100. Oh, I don't want to say definitely. Most likely got over 100. And splash down. Oh, we had 2 splashdowns. That was interesting. And it's slow enough it stayed vertical for a while. Okay. Oh, never. Okay, never mind what I'm talking about. Holy crap, that's way more than I thought we'd get. 228. All right. Definitely enough to get that. So, space exploration. Actually, he might have used the cupola module. Lander can. Service bay. Heat resistance. RCS tanks. That's one. Well, yeah, 160. We almost can do it, but not quite. So I guess we can have our pick. We don't want the flight one. That's just it's for space planes. And most of this is too, to be honest. I mean, there are some more wing types, but for the most part, it's all stuff for space planes. So storage technology, we've got container tank flat. What does it store? Transporting various goods, just basically just whatever. Some container KS containers as well. And then we got recycling, which is USI parts recycling module. Or do we have the other legs? Or are those somewhere else? The landing, the thicker landing legs. Oh no, those are over here. The landing struts. Underneath advanced landing. MK25 parachute. Okay, actually we can go propulsion systems. This is for the yeah, we don't really need these for what we're doing here. Those are too small. I guess we can keep what we have with the science and see if we can't get a little bit more somewhere. Climatron docking module. Alright, we got what we wanted though, what we needed. So let's go ahead and build that base core lander here. Alright, let's go ahead and open it up. Okay, utility. Hitchhiker, where are ya? It might be underneath payload, possibly. No, structural. Okay, where the hell are you now? Oh, there it is, yeah, hitchhiker. Alright. Actually, we can scale these, can't we? Oh, we don't need to. So I have no clue what we're going to actually need for this, because I've never tried landing one of these before, so we'll have to just wing it and see what happens here. We don't need a mainsail, that's too much power. But we'll probably need something like at least 300. Jeez, these friggin' drives here are insane. So let's do, well, okay, that's kind of interesting. So that's still quite a bit though. It's like less, it's a lot less than what the it's almost half of what the mainsail is, but still it's a lot. And plus we need to think about like the landing too. We might need those larger landing struts actually. Well, let's say for the heck of it that we use the MOA. I mean, where are we gonna put the landing legs at? So they're not long enough to deal with that. Now, what we could try and do is what I did last time was I actually made this a vertical thing. So what happened is, what I did was I had, of course it was with the landing struts, the next one up, the one we can't get to just yet. And I put them along this section here. So I had one or two of these. I think it was one of these, and no, maybe two of them. Then I had attached some fuel tanks to them with radial decouplers. And then on those I put, what were the engines that I used? Might have been these. And then use that vertically to land it. Well, I think we don't have all the parts for this yet, so let's go ahead and let's go do the ScanSat satellites. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll have to watch some more videos from Orbiter and see exactly how we did it. So we'll go ahead and save this for now, start a new one. So for these we're going to use probes because we don't want to put somebody up in orbit forever. So let's choose a probe to use. Huh. So I guess we only have the one. We have the Stay Putnik. That's fine. We don't need much. So that'll be our probe thing there. Let's go ahead and throw on a... We'll do the small inline reaction wheel. For the next bit we'll do just a bit of fuselage. If you can find one the right size. So what we're going to put on this now is we're going to do some batteries, first of all. I won't use the super battery. So I think that actually doesn't even deplete. So we're going to use some actual batteries, which is underneath electrical. We'll use a couple of these. Actually, those are pretty big friggin' batteries. So what we'll do is we'll put one here. Actually, let's use the this tool to put them there. So we got two of this. That's 800 charge. We're also going to put on some solar panels here. So 3x2. We're going to do the shorter ones, which are these. And for this, we want to do at least 2 sets of 4. Actually, on those, let's go ahead and rotate this. Because then what I'll do is we'll move these up. And in the middle here, I'm going to put a scan set. So I'd never actually figured out exactly what the antenna rating is. Like, for example, 5.00 m, 5 meters. Like I said, maybe that is 5 meters. So this is 500k meters. Both of these are. Let's use the S. A little more smaller form factor there. Alright, so I think it's science. There it is, scan set. This is just altimetry sensor, it doesn't have any of the other stuff on it, which is fine. We can have these re-enter and then send up a more advanced version later. Let's make sure this is going to extend fine. Yeah, that's what I figured. We'll do a rotation on this too. Just so it doesn't open up into anything. Doesn't really matter, it just looks better this way. And if you were going to do one of these things, you wouldn't set up so that it would like smash into things while opening up. And that didn't retract. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so that's going to be our main section there. Now we need to do an engine section for this. So for fuel, we're probably not going to need any more than just this regular tank. That's probably too much. Where the hell is our regular stuff at? Like the procedural tank and all that. That's weird. I can't find it. Maybe the texture on it changed. Oh, there it is. Well, that's the RCS tank. Though we will need RCS on this stuff. Oh, there it is. That's what we wanted. Alright, so diameter, drop it down a couple. Increase the length. And then we'll slap a 45 on there, I think. That'll work. It's a little bit big for the size, but... Guess we can increase this diameter of that too. So we can't change the scale of the stay put neck though. Well, that's fine. We don't need to. Okay, so stages for getting this up there in orbit. Actually, I want to put a fairing around this. No, we can't go any further, seriously. Damn you. Okay, max radius. But it didn't say max length. Why don't we have a max length? Actually, you probably need to do that anyway. That's actually a nice, well, actually, that's what we really need to pull it off for a second. We need to do a, decoupler. Alright, there we go. So then all I'm going to do is just a single, let's try a single main cell engine here and see how that works. Make this thing roughly bullet shaped. Oh yeah, it's like crazy TWR there. Okay, then we need to do some aerodynamic stuff so we can actually maneuver it a bit. Actually, let's go 3. And then on this upper stage, Let's also include some RCS. To help steer things a little bit more. So, for ScanSats to work, you have to be in a polar orbit. And you have to be 225 out, I believe. 225K out. Okay, no, you have to be between 5 kilometers and 500 kilometers, I guess. So 225 is right in the middle, so that's why I picked it. So for these now, let's take a look at these again, make sure we have enough. So we're using these ones. So it's 1.6 a second. So 2 of them is 3.2. And 2 more of them is 6.4. 6.4 times 2 is 12.8. So 12.8 a second charge. Communitron, let's see. This is using, okay, that's, yeah, this will blow us out of the water here. So, let's see, make sure my math is right here. Don't have my phone, so I have to use my watch. Crap, where are we? Here we go. So 1.6 a second charge. 1.6 times 4. And then whatever that is times 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, 6.4. 6.4 times 4. No, that's not what I said. 6.4 times 4. So that's 25.6 a second. And we have 2 of these on it, so those, what was that? Those 4 inches, that's 800 units of power. What are we, how much does the State Sputnik use? 10 a second. So we're still kind of, we still don't kind of have enough. So let me pull this off. And we will manually put some on here. So we're going to need all kinds of these, I think. Like wherever there's space, I'm shoving one of these things on it. And really, unless we want to go between the thrusters, which we can do. This is like kind of insane. I think we needed that because, oh, we'll see what happens when we get up into orbit, but. If it only charges at 1.6 a second, then we need a bunch of them to be able to, because these 2 things together are like 30 a second. Then you throw in this, which is another 6. That's 6 a minute. Is it a minute or a second? Interesting. So so that's 6 a minute. These are 20 a second. Interesting mixing of this. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I think we're ready to go and test this actually. So let's call this ScanSats. version 1. I didn't check the staging. I think the staging is fine. Usually when you have really simple rockets, the staging happens pretty well. Automatic staging works pretty well. Alright. There's no operational SAS module, no pilots. Really? So SAS only works with a pilot. Guess we'll have to use the RCS then. Well, we'll see what happens. If I have to take this thing up manually, I'm gonna be kind of pissed off. But it kind of seems that way. I don't remember SAS not working with probe command modules, but I guess that's a thing. Starting to kind of go over a little bit too much. I'm fine with that. That's why the fairing's there, is to protect all that stuff. Just gonna keep burning a little bit so I can keep things online here. Let's go ahead and drop the fairing. Yeah, I think the RCS isn't working. We don't have monopropellant is why. Alright, let's go ahead and revert flight back to assembly. So we'll take off the ring, because we don't need that. Actually, we can... Do I have access? There's a battery node that we could use to replace that. The more storage capacity we have, the better. So I think we'll do that. Let me go ahead and actually scale that up. And then let's go ahead and put in monopropellant tanks. Doesn't really matter where they go, as long as they attach to this top section here somewhere. I would go with 4. How much do those use? Oh, 0.1. Yeah, okay, we got plenty then. Alright, let's go ahead and resave that. I'm not sure if the RCS will work from inside of fairing or not. I mean, it shouldn't. Maybe it does though. Another undocumented feature. Doesn't appear so. Monopropellet's not being used, and we're not maintaining, so that's fine. Just turn that off for now. They might only work once they're in orbit. I really have no clue. Having to guide these things up by hand is annoying. Especially making sure you don't go too far in one direction. I'm trying to get the orbit set up so we don't have much to push out, but when you're doing it by hand, it's a hell of a lot more tedious. Alright, let's go and dump the fairing, and maybe that doesn't pass through on the field. Oh, there we go. It doesn't happen automatically, right? It does if you have SAS, because the pilots are doing stuff, but alright, pretty close there. That's where we want to be on the gimbal. Close enough. So now what I have to do is we have to set up a... Let's set up a maneuver here to burn either anti-normal or normal. Let's see, we just have to get ourselves to about a that'll do pretty well. Oh no, it says it has no operational SAS modules and no pilots on board. That's weird. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this manually then. Okay, pretty close. So what's going to be really annoying about this is that we're going to have to try and move with the node. Oh. Crap. Seriously, we're gonna run out of fuel again? Crap. Yeah, no fuel. Well, that's not good. Alright, so we're back to back to assembly. I could have sworn we could use SAS with these. Alright, let's see if we can get the SAS working this time. It still says it can't activate it. I'm going to go search Google real quick and see what we can bring up. Come on, load. Interesting. It's no operational and no pilots on board, which is not the case. Okay, let's see. Let's go to Google. So, Kerbal space program probe command SAS. Oh. Really? Seriously? Wait, I should have access to those, shouldn't I? Maybe I can use my science to do that. Which kind of sucks because I still need it for... Maybe I'll have to do another trip to Minmus or something. Okay, so where do we get the first... Where do we get the state Putnik at? It's an important thing to figure out. Okay, there it is, state Putnik. On basic science. Where in the hell is everything? Jeez. It's just a pain in the arse trying to find stuff. Sure, some sort of search function. You could like type in the name of what you want, it would show you all the places where you can look for it at. Oh, cool. I didn't know about this. You can actually see all the different things you've done. Interesting. Oh, right, I forgot about that. If you land, when you land on anywhere, when you get out, you can collect a surface sample too. Damn. I had forgotten about that. We missed out on some some stuff. Now back to this question. Where the hell are the other state Putniks? Oh hell, there it is. What is this? This is a 300. Well, that's the Octo 2 actually. No, that's not what we want. There's Probodyne. We can't get it though. Not Rockomax micronode. So the Octo's not there either. Where the hell? This is really annoying. There it is. Yeah, we do have it. What the hell? I was gonna say, we should have it. So where the hell is it in the parts list? Okay, God, it's right there. How many times did I go over it? Electrical charge 1.8 a minute. Okay, so let's pull this off of here. Pull this off of here. Hopefully that doesn't screw up the routing. Oh, that's really friggin' small. We'll need to scale that up. Oh, we can't scale it. Okay. Where's our antenna thing at? There it is. Stick that on top. Okay, and then actually what we can do is pull this off, get rid of that. So it has its own built-in reaction wheel and stuff. Of course, I have no clue if that's going to be enough for all this. We may end up wanting to bring that back over. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. I think we need to do that. There's too much weight. And it can use SAS, so it should be able to use this. Let's go ahead and save that. That's not too bad, though, only 64K for this. Clear and proceed. Get that junker off the pad. Okay, now that we have SAS, maybe we can do these a bit more easily. And we got more fuel on that second stage too, so hopefully this won't be so bad. Oh, it has a stability assist though. It doesn't have any of the other stuff. Still, it's more than what we had before, so. A little bit slower this time, so we had a little bit more weight, but still more than enough. Alright, we should be able to just angle this thing over and go. Thanks to the stability assist. Yep, alright. Perfect. Perfect. Go up to about 6,000 or so, and then we'll head down to the 45-degree angle. Alright. Down we go. Then once we get to about 20, we'll go down to the 90-degree right on the horizon. Come on, down a little more. Alright, there we go. And here we come, 20. Let's keep it a little bit above the horizon so we're not above the 90 degrees, so we're not actually burning quite onto it yet. So we are going to be doing a little bit of burning here as we're powering through this the atmosphere. Fairing should protect everything though. Let's go ahead and drop that off now. Turn on the RCS. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go forward a little bit here. When I get near the apoapsis node, then we'll burn again. Try and push the periapsis out. Shouldn't be too hard to do with the main sail. I'll have to burn retro to deal with the fact that we're way over on the apoapsis site. Alright, should be good enough. So now what I want to do is I want to let's go and extend out some of these panels. Right now, so while we're doing this, if we run out of power, we're not going to get screwed that way. That happened to me once. I was trying to get satellite positioned right. I ended up running out of power, so I just kind of got stuck in orbit. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to let's see, where are we moving? We're going this direction. Alright, so we need to do a normal or anti-normal burn. Just like what we were trying to do last time. Get ourselves in a polar orbit. What's interesting is that doing prograde actually pushes the apoapsis out there. Things get really weird when you do normal, anti-normal burns in terms of trying to get the altitude at a certain place. That's probably good enough. Crap, we're gonna run out of fuel again now before we can complete it. As long as we get kind of near it, it doesn't matter. Let me go ahead and do a save. So if it still screws up, then what we'll do is we'll just try and run the satellite from here. Won't be as effective, but... Come on, let's get the nodes out. Pushed back out. Crap. I wonder if we go normal instead of anti-normal. And we're still pushing that out pretty far, but we're not having to flip it around. So this one we can actually kind of do. So anti-normal, we were flipping the AP and PE nodes. This way we're kind of doing it, but it's a much easier way to do it. We're not necessarily flipping the orbit completely around, we're just kind of bringing it in, turning it, and then bringing it back out. Instead of actually completely flipping the orientation of the orbit, like on the other one. So it takes less fuel. At least that's what I'm getting from it. At the very least, it's an easier thing to do than the other one. The other way around. We should get pretty close to this. So we're gonna, this is like the last little bit there we won't be able to do, but it should be at least a stable orbit, I want to say. At least I'm hoping so, because that's like, that last little bit shouldn't be so much. Sure, stay near the node. And it's stable enough. We'll be kind of close on the PE node, but there's not really much we can do about it. Alright, so let's bring up the scan set map. The projection will be rectangular map type altimetry. Alright, let's go ahead and fully deploy all of our solar panels here. I should have tied them all to a button, action button, but I didn't. Just got the ones on this side too. These ones might be the ones that automatically move towards the sun as well. It looks like they are doing that. It's going to be kind of weird, but should open up. There we go, we got a bit of it. So if we just go ahead and fast forward a bit. I think we only go to 1,000. At least on that side. Just why it's better to have a stable orbit so you don't have to have slowdowns on one side and not on the other. But it is what it is. So I think we can also send this data back. Interesting, so there's no science you can get from these. That kind of sucks. Alright, so we got our first scan sat in orbit around Kerbal. To be honest, maybe all these panels were a little overkill. But whatever, it works. The next version of this will definitely have to have maybe a multi-engine setup on this stage instead of just one. But I think that's gonna be fine for now. Alright, so that's gonna be it for the stream for tonight. Thanks for watching. If you watched it live on Twitch or YouTube, watching it afterwards on YouTube, comments, questions, link below. And if you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time. Probably tomorrow. Probably do some more KSP streaming tomorrow. After I watch some more of those videos. We'll definitely probably need to go to Minimus one more time to get enough research to get not get what we need for the landing struts, but also maybe a few other things too. Trip to Minimus and back is going to be at least 300 science if we land in a different area. I think the last time we went to Minimus was actually 500, so it might be something closer to that. Which would be really nice. So that would probably put us at about 600 to 700 total science. We could do a lot with that. But that will be for next time. So I will see you then.